Welcome to the Afton Ice Arena. Tim Woodburn along with Jack Bean, where we are at the championship game of the 1992 Junior C National Championships here at the Afton Ice Arena in St. Louis, where the Marquette Flyers will be taking on the South Coast Sabers. This is a rematch of a third-round game in which Marquette won by a score of 6-3. In goal for South Coast today will be Jeff Daly. He's 1-1 in this tournament with one shutout and a 3.00 goals against average. And in goal for the Marquette Flyers will be the man who's been in goal for all four of their victories, as they are the only undefeated and untied team in this tournament. Jeff Hansen, who is 4-0 with one shutout and a 2.25 goals against average. And with me is Jack Bean. And Jack, the South Coast Sabres scoring 17 goals in their first two games. Played somewhat of a poor third game and then came back today to defeat Afton, but their high-powered offense has seemingly been turned down a little bit.
Well, it seems that once they start to get on a roll, anytime in this tournament, after the red light comes on once, it seems to come on several times. And if you're coaching the Marquette or the Marquette team, you have to be worried about letting them get on a roll. The first game was a good game. Marquette was able to keep them off the board most of the game, and it was a close game, but they kept the high-powered offense of South Coast in bay.
The Marquette Flyers will be in white, skating from left to right as you look at your screen in the first period here. The South Coast Sabres from Costa Mesa, California, will be going from right to left as we are going through the announcement of the players right now. That's goalie Jeff Daly. South Coast being announced here. They are led by number 11, Eric Preston. He's the tournament's leading goal scorer and the tournament's leading point getter with 9 goals and 5 assists for 14 points. He'll be wearing number 11 for South Coast. They also have forward Justin White, number 2, who has 4 goals and 5 assists for 9 points. Greg Holly with 5 points. Mike Lyons with 7, and Mike Jones with 4, along with David Glass with 4, their other leading scorers. Meanwhile, for the Marquette Flyers out of Marquette, Michigan, they are led by number 19, Jeremy Bierman. He's got 7 goals and 6 assists for 13 points. He's the tournament's second leading scorer. They are also led by defenseman Derek Fries, number 3, who has 3 goals, 6 assists, and 9 points. 3 rockets from the point in this tournament for the Marquette Flyers. Marquette's first game, they defeated Pittsburgh in the National Division by a score of 7-4. They then defeated the Utah Rebels out of Salt Lake City by a score of 6-4. And then they defeated this South Coast team by a score of 6-3 before defeating Colorado 3-0 earlier today. Meanwhile, for South Coast, they won their first game, a 7-0 romp over Utah, and a 10-3 victory over the Pittsburgh Stars. They looked unbeatable their first 2 games until really playing poorly in their third one, a 6-3 loss to this Marquette Flyer team. And then earlier today, they defeated the home team in the tournament, the host team, the Afton Americans, by a score of 5-2, scoring 2 shorthanded goals and 1 on the power play. The special teams really winning it for them there. This one will be refereed by John Scherza out of Chicago. Larry Jones and Mark Heisen, who have also both refereed in this tournament, will be the linesmen for this game. And this is for, once again, the 1992 Junior C National Championship.
I was talking to the officials before the game, and they're looking for a high-paced game, a physical game from both teams. They've let most of these games, the boys play the games and let the boys decide the games. That's what they were looking for, and they half-jokingly said that they were hoping that it won't be a repeat of last year's 6 overtime game between, I believe it was Seattle and Alaska last year, which was an incredible game that the only ones that lasted was the referees and the goal judges. The players were done.
6 overtimes. What was the final in that one?
I don't recall the score. I remember I fell asleep about halfway through the 4th overtime, and there was a time change going on and everything else. They played it over 4 weekends, but it's a good game.
Ooh. About set to get underway here. Marquette in white once again will be going from left to right. South Coast from Costa Mesa, California will be going from right to left. The goal judges are ready. The teams are lined up for the face-off. And John Sears is set to drop the puck between Jeremy Bierman of Marquette and Justin White of the South Coast Sabres. All set to go. This is for the championship. We're underway. And Jeremy Bierman immediately from Marquette will throw it into the South Coast zone. Right there is Mike Jones with along the right wing side. It comes out to Lyons at the right point. Freeze holding it in nicely, and it'll come into the South Coast zone. Here's Tony Pace throwing one in front. It's trickled wide, and Cisco behind the net. It's battling for it with Bierman. Now Schwind in there for Marquette coming in, and Cisco knocking up the left wing. Here's Eric Preston, the tournament's leading scorer, number 11. In alone on left wing, a shot that goes off the leg of 34. Jared Phillips going to come into the far corner. Justin White with it, a centering pass. It's stolen away by Bierman, and out comes Marquette. Here's Tony Pace along the right wing side into the South Coast zone, trying to make a move. Can't get around Cisco. Now he's in alone, but the puck trickles wide, and Eric Preston will pick it up behind his own net. Tries to make a move around Schwind. Schwind tying him up. He kicks it along the right wing boards. Pace and Lyons battling for it. Now Bierman intercepts, throwing it in front, and Bierman just couldn't quite tip it in there. Come along the left wing side, and South Coast will clear to center. Lyons with it. Eric Preston across the blue line, trying to make a move around Derek Freeze, and does. Throwing it in front. Here's a shot, and it doesn't get through, and it'll come along the right wing boards. Here's Justin White throwing it in front. Intercepted over there by number 18 for Marquette. Will come into the far corner. Eric Preston is hammered there into the boards. The puck at the net. Behind the net, Derek Freeze along the left wing side will throw it to Jared Phillips, and he'll throw it to Jeremy Bierman, the center, along the Pace along the right wing side. Pace throwing it into the South Coast zone. We got the late offside here, and the players have changed. Here's the big defenseman, Cisco, trying to make a move. He's around one man. Cisco to center. Can't get around the second. He's still with the loose puck, however, and he circles in his own zone. Now back to number 44, David Glass, throwing up the left wing side. Here's Preston. Doesn't see the puck coming toward him, and back into the South Coast zone is number 1, Chip Betts. Bisogno behind his own net along the left wing side. Here is number 6, Kevin Thill, throwing it in front. Here's a backhanded attempt by Marquette's Musco, and it goes wide. Behind the net, this is Woodall. Now Aquarelli with it. Thrown in front by Musco, and it comes to the far point. Here's Trudeau knocking it toward the net, and it never got through. Here's a backhanded attempt right on, and a nice save by Daly. Throwing it to the point. Here's Chip Betts. He'll throw it on, and Preston tips that, but it never left the zone, and Betts will knock it back in behind the net. Bisogno with it there. He will clear it up over the glass partition and into the stands.
That was a good play by the defenseman
And
of
we'll
South
have a
Coast.
stoppage and play to face off deep into the South Coast Sabers zone. And once again, the Marquette Flyers are taking it to the South Coast Sabers early in this one.
Now the Flyers are doing a great job of forechecking. They're sending 2 men in deep on the play. They're bottling up the middle. South Coast in this situation here had Preston, their leading scorer, out on the ice for over 2 minutes, 2 minutes and 9 seconds, and that was much too long to keep a player on the ice, and they were running around, they were tired, and South Coast took the quick dump out of the zone, out of play to get a stoppage.
South Coast wins the draw, and it comes to Bisogno on the left wing side, and he will flip one to center and icing his wave. Joe Voigt back in his own zone. He's raced after by Michael Glass. Voigt along the left wing side up to Cliff Lunny. He kicks it to Bierman. Bierman makes a move. Can't get around Holly. Now Lunny will pick it up and stolen away by Glass, and Lunny will get the loose puck again and knock it in. Cleared out of the zone by South Coast, and Cliff Lunny for Marquette at center will make a move. He's around 2 men, throwing it into the South Coast zone. Woodall up the right wing side. Gets it to Greg Holly. Bierman on him, hammers him into the boards. Voigt along the right wing side. This is Ken Carricks ahead to center. Pacola can't handle it, and Carricks will throw it back in. Daly a glove save, and he'll throw it aside. Here's Gouvion throwing it up the right wing side. Knocked out by Antablion. It'll go down the ice. Racing after it is number 15, Greg Holly. But it puck goes into the far corner. He'll throw one blindly towards center, and Josh Pacola will pick it up along the right wing side for Marquette. Pacola makes a move around Graff to center. Now Bierman with it into the zone. Bierman to Pacola, drop between the circles. Wynot fires, and Daly a save, and the puck goes into the far corner. Pacola with it now, and we have it offside.
Yeah,
And,
the call on that was the player in white for Marquette Flyers skated through the creases, an automatic face-off outside the zone. I'll tell you right now, Marquette is just playing perfect hockey. They're gaining zones. They're making the simple plays. They're finishing their checks. They had a really nice 3-on-2. They got the man in the slot, number 7 for Marquette, with a good shot on goal. And the goaltender came up big with the save, but Marquette is outplaying them big time.
Zorza and Preston to take the draw. It's won by South Coast. Gouvion in his own zone loses the puck. It comes to 11, Zambon, who throws it on the left side for Zorza. Zambon with it. It's knocked aside by Bisogno at center, and he will clear the zone. Here's Graff at center, 1-on-2. Graff into the zone, backhanding it toward the net. It comes behind, and number 33, Hansen, will throw it up the left wing side. Zambon and Antablion battling for it over there. Now Jared Phillips can't clear. Gouvion at the point. Will wind up. It's deflected, and it goes well wide. Here's Preston with it. Throwing it at the point, Bisogno. Now it's stolen away nicely by Marquette, and they'll come to center. Here comes number 5, Chris Zorza. Can't get around Gouvion. Will come to center. Here's Preston with it, with Graff, 2-on-2. Preston going wide. Stops inside the zone. Tries to make a move. Preston is hounded by Jared Phillips over there. Nice check, and the puck will come to center. Zorza has it hop over his stick, and Bisogno in his own zone of circle. Brent Bisogno for South Coast across the red line. Into the Marquette zone, fakes a shot. Tries to make a move around Jared Phillips and does, but then he lost the puck, and Phillips will clear along the right wing side. Graff holding it in nicely. Now Kevin Schwinden to help out. Graff gets it to Bisogno on his backhand in front. A stuff shot, and it never got through as it was hugged at the post over there by Jeff Hansen, and Bisogno had a stick in the air, thought he scored. The red light never came on, and Sears never signaled, and we'll have a face-off in the Marquette zone.
A great play there by the goaltender to keep his feet there along the post and keep it from being stuffed. To date, that was their first good scoring opportunity, and that would have been a big boost for South Coast because they've been outplayed so far the first 4 minutes and some odd seconds here, and if they'd have popped that one, they might have turned it around a little bit, but they got the offensive face-off.
Bierman and Preston have taken to the right of Hansen. It's won by Marquette. It comes behind the net, and Chip Betts will have it there to the left of Hansen. He throws up along the left wing side. It's held in nicely by South Coast, but clearing with it now is Bierman along the left wing side. He's got a big shot. He throws one in front for Schwinden. One-timer right on the save. Rebound to Pace. Score! Tony Pace picks up the rebound of a shot by Kevin Schwinden. Ripped it past Jeff Daly, and just 4.5 minutes in, Marquette is on fire. They're leading 1-0.
Well, that play started with the defenseman coming up the left wing boards, and he gained the zone, made the play, picked up the rebound. South Coast was a little lazy getting back, did not pick up the third man.
Betts and Schwinden will get the assist there at 4:28. That's Cody Pace's 4th goal of this tournament, and Marquette a 1-0 lead. Jones whacking it into the zone and sticking it aside there as Hansen along the left wing side or Chip Betts. He's hammered behind the boards. Schwinden with it on the left wing side. Goes for the long outlet pass. It's tipped by South Coast, and with it now is number 12, Mike Lyons. Hit out by Whittle. Pace tips it into his own zone, actually, and now Pace with it once again. Throwing it along the left wing side. Back after it for South Coast in his own zone is Chris Whittle. Bierman all over him. Justin White battling for it over there. Now Kevin Schwinden will come in and help out. He circles in the left circle, back at the point. Here's Trudeau. A shot that never got through on goal, that is, and it comes along the near corner. South Coast trying to clear. Now Lyons with it. He's got some skating room, and he comes to center. Here's number 2, Justin White, into the Marquette zone. Makes a move around Trudeau to his backhand. Throws it in front. Schwinden blocks that, and Trudeau will knock it again once again. Trudeau across the blue line. He's hammered in the boards over there by Siska. And South Coast will throw it right back into the zone. And as it got on goal, it is called a delayed offside in the South Coast Sabers, and we'll have a face-off outside of the Marquette Flyers zone.
Well, I'm really impressed with this Marquette Flyers team. They're doing everything right now. They're playing their position. They're not overcommitting. They're taking away the passing lanes. They're picking up their men. The defensemen are playing the body. They're finishing their checks all over. It looks like South Coast is going to have an overload on the face-off on the weak side over here and try and get the puck over to their leading goal scorer, Preston.
Musko will take the draw over there against Acquarelli, who's out there up front along with Glass and Preston.
Marquette's trying to make an adjustment here, whether to put the defenseman up to Mr. Glass there, number 44 or not.
Face-off is won by Marquette, and Chip Betts, Bowen will knock it ahead to center. And it is shot right back into the Marquette player bench, and we'll have another face-off in neutral ice area.
Being a coach myself, that's one thing you don't ever enjoy is when the players start shooting the pucks at you. That keeps you on your toes back there. You get a few abuses back there.
That's why the coaches stand back and they let the players sit up there. They're smart. Face off in the neutral ice area, won again by Marquette, and Voet, number 17, will knock it into the zone. Here's Bisogno back after it. He's hounded by 2 players, showing up the right wing side. Voet holds it in, and Marquette has it to number 6. Here's Kevin Phil in front of Musko. Can't get enough. Carrick's at the right point. It skates over him, and the net comes off its mooring, and we'll have a stoppage in play inside of the South Coast zone. Didn't see how it came off there.
I think the defenseman there just ran the Marquette player through the net. He was a little close to his goaltender. He wanted to let him know, if you're going to stand here, you're going to pay the price, and that's something you have to do as a defenseman. Referee saw the whole thing, but it was not an infraction that would cause a penalty. It was just 2 boys trying to get plant their feet and get the territory, and the South Coast defenseman won it.
Face off to the right of the South Coast goalie, Jeff Daly. Won by Marquette. It comes to Carrick's at the right point. He can't control it there, and Preston with it in his own zone. Knocks it behind his own net player, and it comes out to center. The long outlet pass is intercepted, and it'll come to number 15 for Marquette, Chris Dupras. Now Carrick's with it at his own blue line. Falls down, but he's able to hit it to center. Intercepting it there is Whittlehauer at the right wing zone. Here's Gouvion, however, throwing it in Gouvion's shot is rejected. It's a nice save by Hansen. He got it on net eventually, but number 6, Kevin Phil, will clear. Now a shot, they score! Aquarelli takes the loose puck and a turnaround wrist shot, a snapshot, however. He beats goalie Jeff Hansen. He really surprised him, I think, Jack, and we're tied here at 1.
Oh, that was a big goal. South Coast needed that. They were being outplayed, and they got a situation where they had an easy breakout, and he waited too long, and he kind of got the puck knocked off his stick, and the South Coast forward there turned around and snapped it in and caught Hansen unaware, hit him in the old 5-hole.
Aquarelli, his second goal of the tournament. We're tied here at 1. Now Pacola back for Marquette. Bierman at loose puck at center ice, throwing it into the zone. It's set up back there by Daly, and Gouvion will have it on the left circle. Graff along the left wing boards, he'll throw it out. Jared Phillips knocking it there. And Tablion loses it. Now here's Pacola, but it's offside into the South Coast zone. Aquarelli, his second of the tournament from Preston at 6:21. Eric Preston now with 15 points in this, the South Coast Sabers' 5th game of the tournament, with 9 goals and 6 assists, and their top gun strikes again with a pass.
Well, I tell you what, does that boy have a nose for the puck? Can he find the loose pucks out there? I tell you what, he was the one that knocked the puck off the defenseman's stick and caused the play.
Puck coming into the South Coast zone is cleared along the right side, and Jared Phillips for Marquette will throw it right back in. Here's Siska, the big defenseman, with it along the left wing side to Graff. Graff will turn and spin. He's hounded by Bierman. Tries to make a move around 2 men. He knocks down Jared Phillips, but the puck will come loose to center. Pacola battling for it. Now Jared Phillips back to Pacola. Tries to make an outlet pass for Cliff Lunny and does along the left wing side. Lunny tries to make a move around Siska. He does. He's got room in front. Cliff Lunny, backhander, and it's knocked away by Daly. Here comes Siska with it along the right wing side at the right circle with some skating room. Got some speed. Throwing along the left side for Graff over his stick. Jared Phillips will knock it out but can't clear. Holly throwing it towards center. And Tablion over there on the far boards. Trying to make a move to Graff in front. A backhand pass, but it was intercepted by Bierman. And he'll skate behind his own net and clear it up along the left wing boards. Held in by Siska. Right circle. A blast right on it, a save. Rebound. Graff, a backhander, and a save by Hansen. And a loose puck is covered by Jared Phillips there at the side of the crease, as I believe the South Coast player even fell out of there, but a good chance by number 13, Jason Graff, on the doorstep.
That's a great play there. You got South Coast starting to jump a little bit. That goal is giving them some enthusiasm, giving them some life. They're putting 3 men in on the puck, and they're doing some things, some good things forechecking. You're coming back with Mr. Preston out on the ice, so I'll tell you what, if you're the opposing team, you got to be aware of it, where that guy is at all times.
Shots even here with 7:22 to play in the first period. Each team has had 7 aside. And we'll have a face-off to the left of the Marquette goalie, Jeff Hansen. Justin White to take it there against Lunny. Won by South Coast. Lions will hit it back to the left point. Here is Jones with it, a big shot, and that never got through. And it's still loose in front there. Knocked down by Betts. He's trips and falls, but he knocks up the right wing side. Here's Eric Preston between the circles. A wrist shot wide on, and a nice save by Hansen with Lions right there on the doorstep. And you got to hold on when you see those guys crashing the net like that.
Yeah, it kind of looked like the Cowboys were being circled by the Indians there. Preston made a good move, took it off the boards and came to the open ice. He didn't have a real good opportunity to get much on the shot, but he did the cardinal rule of shooting. You got it on net. As long as you get it on net, there's always an opportunity.
Face off once again to the left of Hansen. Bierman over there against Justin White. It's won by Marquette, and Kevin Schwind over there will throw up the right wing boards. Held in nicely. Here's a shot right on goal, and Hansen a save, and it's cleared by number 2, Jeff Trudeau, all the way down the ice. Daly will come out and play it, icing his way into number 16, Mike Jones behind his net. Bierman on him. He comes out to the left circle, exiting to the left. The long right wing pass for Lions is intercepted, and back come the Marquette Flyers. This is Chip Betts. A shot. Oh, it trickles through, but it goes wide. In the near corner, here's Schwind with it. Now Pace behind the net. Battling for it with Jones over there. It's deflected, and it goes over the glass and out of play, and we'll have a face-off outside of the Marquette, outside of the South Coast zone, and Jack, both of these teams have been known to open it up in this period, and we're starting to see that end-to-end play that both of these teams have done.
It looks like both these teams like to skate. The off-wing shooting to the openings. You have them breaking. As soon as the defenseman gets the puck, you have that off-wing breaking the open ice. He'll either go down the boards, or if it's coming up the middle, he'll make a cut to the middle. Whatever's open, they're going for open ice.
White and Bierman with the draw. It's knocked down by South Coast, but it comes to Ken Carricks for the Marquette Flyers, and he'll throw it into the South Coast zone. Mike Jones with it there. He's had 3 end-to-end rushes in this tournament. He fires one right on, and Hansen an easy stick save to the corner. Lions with the rebound, throwing it in front. It comes to Suska at the point, a shot right on Hansen, a save. And Eric Preston was right there in front. He bumped with Hansen, and Neither of these teams has been afraid to make guys pay the price for making even incidental contact with a goalie after he stops it.
Well, that's something you have to do as a defenseman, is you got to protect your goaltender. Hansen had to come out and make the play. It looks like Hansen likes to come out a little bit, cut those angles down, which makes it an easier save for the goaltender. He came out, made the glove save, and we had a little bump by the South Coast player, but he paid a little bit of the price for the bump.
Face off to the left of Hansen once again. Bierman and Justin White to take it over there. We're tied at 1 with 6:24 to play in the first. Knocked up the left wing boards by Voigt to Schwind. Now Bierman with it. Stolen away by Lyons, but Schwind has it once again, and he tries an outlet pass for Tony Pace, who has it along the right wing side. He'll throw it into the zone. He's checked off by Preston, and Siska behind his own net will exit to the right, up along the right wing boards. Lyon will clear it out. It goes right through Voigt's legs, and it'll come back into his own zone, icing his weight. The speedy Eric Preston all over him, hammers him into the boards. Now Siska in to help out, and we have a whistle and a stoppage in play.
Too many men on the ice.
And we're going to have a too many men on the ice call.
On Marquette.
Marquette with too many men on the ice there, as they couldn't make the substitution quick enough with South Coast applying pressure in the zone. And we'll have a bench minor. It'll be our first penalty of the game.
Linesman Mark Hyacin made that call. He was standing right in front of the Marquette bench, and believe me, when that happens, people start going, oh, we got too many men. And it makes it easy for the linesman to call, and he called him cold with 6 men on the ice.
First power play opportunity for either team. It's the first penalty of the game as well. It's been a tough, evenly played, tie-checking affair with each team scoring 1 goal, and we have 5:59 remaining here in the first period, tied at 1. Face off to the left of the goalie, Jeff Hansen. 15 is Greg Holly to take it over there for the Sabers. It's won by South Coast, but it comes right past their blue line. They'll have to set up. Brent Bisogno in his own zone with it. Threw it along the right wing side. Here's Graff with it. It makes a nice play to corral the loose puck at center with his skate, but he's pounded by Bierman, and back come the Marquette Flyers. Musco has it knocked off his stick, however, it'll come back to center. Right back into the South Coast zone with it, though, is Chip Betts, and Brent Bisogno had to set up there. He's out there with Antablion, Graff, Gouvion, and Holly. Along the left wing side to Graff. Across his blue line, across center. Graff with some room. Got Antablion on the left side, tries to make room. In alone, he's hauled down, and the puck trickles right on the goalie, Jeff Hansen, and don't expect to see many penalties called with a team already shorthanded, especially in a championship game like that. That one right there was marginal.
Well, I'll tell you what, yeah, that's a situation there where both defensemen said, I got him, you take him, and it looked like the Red Sea. It just parted, and he went right up the middle, and someone had to take the lumber to him to get him down, or he'd have gone right up the middle and gone in on Hansen.
Still a minute 26 remaining in this power play for South Coast. Holly loses the draw to Musco, and number 3, Derek Freese, will hit it, but it's not out. Cliff Lunny now finally does get it out of the zone, and it's knocked back in offside by South Coast. It's a delayed call, and they'll get back onside. Now Musco with it. He'll shoot it right on, and a pad save by Daly. And here's Bisogno behind his own net, setting up on this power play for South Coast. Bisogno exiting to the right, throwing up along left wing side. Jason Graff across the red line. Graff will line up, and he'll fire one about a foot wide. He'll come along the right point, and it's cleared out of there by Chip Betts. Now here is Musco with it along the right wing side. Here's Cliff Lunny making a move, spinning right to left. Wrist shot, oh, and that trickles just wide. Here's Bisogno with it now for the South Coast Sabers. Across his line into the Marquette zone. He's knocked down by number 2 over there. Number 3, Derek Freese, and it goes back into the South Coast zone. Gouvion behind his own net. Still 34 seconds left in the power play. Gouvion with lots of skating room. Across the red line into the Marquette zone. He bumps Bierman. It comes behind the net. Hansen will set it up. He almost falls down. Chip Betts with it now. He'll make a move around one man, and Marquette will clear the zone. It's ahead to Bierman, 1-on-2. Bierman trying to make a move. He's around number 16 in front. A shot. Score! What a move by Jeremy Bierman in front, and Pacola knocked it past Jeff Daly, and shorthanded Marquette has it 2-1.
What a tremendous goal. The defenseman behind his own net picks up the puck, hits Bierman cutting right up the middle in full stride. He comes around to the one defenseman, slides it back over, and a beautiful goal. I'll tell you what, that went from one end of the ice to the other in about 6 seconds, and the red light was turned on.
Josh Pacola, his first goal of the tournament from Jeremy Bierman and Chip Betts, coming at 10:45 shorthanded as there's still 16 seconds left of the bench minor, and Marquette with a 2-1 lead. Puck dropped at center, it comes on the stick of Preston, and he'll circle at neutral ice. Eric Preston along the right wing side for Siska. Siska making a move, but Lyons was in ahead of the play offside, and we'll have a face-off outside of the Marquette line.
Good call on the linesman there. He was about a foot offside there. I'll tell you what, the shorthanded goals had something to do with this tournament so far, Tim?
Well, Marquette Flyers have scored 2 shorthanded goals, and the South Coast Sabers scored 2 in their game this morning against Afton to help them along to a 5-2 victory. So I'd say they've been crucial not only today but throughout the tournament as well.
Yeah, it looks like South Coast got a little of their own medicine there, but that was a heck of a play. Started with Chip Beck behind the net.
Loose puck is knocked at by Pacola right there. Lyon steals it into the zone. He can't get around his man, and Pacola will knock it right back down the ice, and this will kill the penalty. Both teams at even strength. Mike Jules with it behind his own net. Circling out to the left of Daly at the left circle. He makes one room. He's got some skating room. Knocking it ahead. It's tipped into the Marquette zone by Lyons. Here's Jared Phillips with it behind the net. Phillips along the left wing side. Lyons tries to check him, and Canny goes head first into the boards. He's slow getting up. Here's Kevin Schwind with it. Knocking it ahead. Schwind with a partial breakaway. Oh, and Siska rubs him off nicely. Mike Jules with it now behind his net, circling to the right. He'll knock it up along the right wing boards. Jared Phillips with it. Weak clearing attempt. It'll come to Derek Fries, and he'll throw it up along the right wing side. Kevin Schwind backhanding it to center. Bierman with it. Can't get around Mike Jones, who'll clear to center, and back with it is Pacola. Knocking it into the South Coast zone. It's intercepted nicely by Jones, and he'll just clear it across ice. Both players, Schwind and Jared Phillips over there, kind of letting it go, and it'll come to center, and Sisko set up there. 3:08 remaining in the first, 2-1 Marquette. Here's Preston with it, circling at neutral ice. Preston can't get around Musco, and he is drilled to the ice. Here is number 7 Lyons trying to make a move, and we have an offside call once again, as Aquarelli was just a half stride in there ahead of the play, and they are doing a little head hunting there on the tournament's leading scorer.
Well, I tell you what, the boys are having a little fun out there now on both teams. It's getting a little physical. Preston just got dumped right in front of his bench. He got knocked down big time. He's up and he's ready to go. Those big goal scorers, they got to expect to get knocked down. And he's been hammered a few times, but he's getting right back in there.
And he's a little goal scorer, a little big goal scorer. Here's Marquette in their own zone. Chip Betts with it in between his own circles, throwing up the left wing side, and Lunny has it there to Musco. Along the left wing side, a big shot. That's deflected high off the glass, and right there for it is 15 Duprus behind his own net. Preston knocking it out but can't clear it. Trudeau will hold it in. It comes to Gouvion over there. We got a penalty coming up here to Marquette, and the puck will come to center. This puck will go into the Marquette zone, and why South Coast would ice in here, I don't know, because they had a penalty coming up to Marquette. And Jeff Trudeau is going to go off for elbowing here with 2:30 remaining in the first period. I didn't see that, Jack.
I didn't see it either. It must have been behind the play. Because of the icing, they'll have the face-off back just outside the South Coast blue line. South Coast hopefully get back in the game for their sake with this power play and be a little more composed on the power play and be ready to skate when you don't have the puck. And that was a little bit of the problem when they were on the power play last time. They were a little flat-footed, and Marquette took advantage of it with a big 100-foot pass up the middle and sprung them on a 2-on-1.
South Coast on the power play with their 0 for 1. Derek Fries throwing it into the zone, and Siska behind his own net with it. Siska motoring up the right wing side. He'll throw it right onto the stick of Ken Carricks, and he'll throw it right back in to the South Coast zone. Gouvion setting up there. Last time they were on a power play, they gave up a shorthanded one. This is a weak clearing pass, and Jake Fries will hit it to Lunny over there, and he will knock it into the South Coast zone. Siska with it behind his own net now. Siska will try and set up once again. Musco on him. He's around one man. Siska across the red line into the Marquette zone. It's onside, but Musco intercepts and he can't clear. Out for Preston's back, but Musco picks it up once again, and he'll cross the red line into the South Coast zone. A big shot. Oh, and that one just went over the goal. Here's Lunny and Siska battling for it in the near quarter. Musco hammering for it there for Marquette. These guys are shorthanded. Preston trying to make a move. Behind his own net, he'll set up, throwing it to Siska, and South Coast will clear. Siska along the left wing side for Justin White. Justin White into the Marquette zone. Fakes a shot. He's around one man. Left circle, a shot. Oh, and a nice save by Hansen after a nice move by Justin White. Now the puck comes into the near corner, and Jeremy Bierman with it there, try and clear, and he does as it goes past Preston and past Gouvion into the South Coast zone. 45 seconds remaining in the power play, a minute 13 in the period. Gouvion will knock it up the left wing side. It's off Bierman's skate. Carrick's trying to knock it back into the South Coast zone. He's hounded by Preston, and it is cleared by Marquette. Here's Preston into the left circle. He's trying to make a move, throwing one in front, but he was 1-on-3. Didn't have much help, and Bierman will clear out to the right point. Here's Siska with the left side, Gouvion. Gouvion at the left circle. He'll throw one that goes about a foot wide. It'll come out to the right point. Lyons is set over there, but Siska gets to it first. Here's White behind the net to Preston. They'll set up. 15 seconds left in the power play. White goes for a centering pass, but it is intercepted by Carricks, and here comes Tony Pace. Pace into the South Coast zone. Makes a move around Siska. Going to his backhand. Trying to look for some room. Throwing one in front. It's knocked away by Siska. And Siska will clear it out of the South Coast zone. Bierman hammers it right back in. Here's Gubion with it across the blue line, across center. Both teams at even strength. He's tripped up there by number 5, Zorza, and the puck will come into the Marquette zone. Zorza now hammering on Preston. He throws it back into the Marquette zone, icing his wave, and Chip Betts behind his own net. 12 seconds left in the period. He goes for the long outlet pass, and it's intercepted there by Bisogno. Here is Bisogno in around 2 guys. Now here comes Lyons with a chance. Tries to make a move. 2 seconds left. It's held in by Bisogno, and that's going to end it. As after 1 period of play in the championship game of the National Junior C Tournament, the Marquette Flyers lead it 2-1. That was pretty much up and down. Both teams had equal pretty much chances there in the first and equal quality scoring chances as well.
Both teams had quality scoring chances. I think Marquette is a little more composed. Looks like they're handling the pressure of a national championship game a little better right now. I think the South Coast was going for the 120-foot pass, and that really doesn't work too often in a national championship game. You got to bring it out of the zone as a team and go into the zone as a team. I think if they do that in the second period, they'll have a little better pressure throughout the period. But right now, Marquette looks composed and looks like they got a mission, and they're doing well so far.
Pace scored from Butts and Schwitt at 4:28. Aquarelli for South Coast from Preston at 6:21. And then Pat Gola shorthanded from Bierman and Betts at 10:45. Join us again for the second period. This is National Junior C Championship Hockey.